This is Abidjanya. Every year, thousands of people travel here to this room in the hope of being cured by John of God for a variety of physical and spiritual afflictions. But for the stray animals here, there is a different story. This female is too weak to lift her head after giving birth to 6 puppies by herself, and 2 days later trying to save them from a torrential downpour. With human intervention, they were saved from drowning, and 2 days following that were rescued by a local veterinarian who lives here in a tiny area to the front of this rented property. They could both be living in a big city making lots of money, but chose to remain here where they are desperately needed.
I'm Dr. Toreni. I'm a vet, and this is my wife Fatima. She's a vet too. We have been living here in Abidjanya almost 11 years, and we have an animal shelter for 10 years. And it's hard here in Brazil because we don't have the culture of loving animals, of taking care of animals like we have in the United States and Europe. Most of the people here treat animals like objects. So when they don't have a dog, they put the dog on the streets. When the female had babies, they kill the females and just take care of the males. So we have rescued a lot, 1,000 animals here in really bad situation. It's a wonderful job because we love what we do. It makes the things a little bit easy. So we take care of the animals like Angel. She was a street cat. We're having problems with the neighbors, and we need a place a little bit far from the city, but not too far because otherwise people not go there to adopt animals. It's not really usual Brazilian people come to adopt animals. We have animals here, dogs, that have been here for almost 2 years. It's not our goal to keep animals here because they deserve a home. They cannot just stay here and on a backyard. They need love. They need someone to take care of them. They need to be loved. Here we give them love, but they need a place for their own. They deserve it. They are wonderful animals. Street animals, they don't eat well. Most of them, when they got here, they have skin diseases like bacterial, fungus, and if acres on the skin, they lost all of the skin because the immunity are down. They have serious problems with tick parasites. Parasites spread by ticks like Babesia, Ehrlichia, Mycoplasma, Hepatozoom, and they are getting more and more stronger.
Could you use the help of interns, veterinarian interns, to help you with these sick animals?
Maybe. Because our facilities are not, you see, it's really simple. We don't have a big place that I can. But anyhow, it's great to help to sterilize animals, to wash the animals. We don't have even volunteers to wash, to walk with the dogs. We don't have so many time. And we have some patients that need us here. We need to go to Goiânia, to Anápolis to take a blood sample to be tested. An X-ray, we need to take the animal to Anápolis again. So we need a lot of equipment here to make the job easy, not just for us, but for them too. We wait almost 24 hours, 48 hours for our blood results. If we have all the equipment here, we can do it, and it's going to be easier.
Okay, I know you're very busy, and I thank you very much for your time, and we'll do everything we can to help.
Thank you.
This is the Frazio's backyard. They have almost 100 resident patients, including over 50 dogs, each of which has their own heartbreaking story. Some of them you'll see in a moment. The reason Dr. Turani mentioned his desire to live just outside of town is because they are being evicted due to complaints from neighbors. This eviction will occur during Brazil's rainy season, and after the Fazios' hard work putting in and installing all of the fencing, plumbing, private dog boarding areas, and the operating room, which was put on hold due to lack of funds. This black dog was struck by a car, damaging the radial nerve in his front left leg. And this is Abadecia. She was brought to the doctors after being starved and beaten half to death. Both of these veteran doctors cried over her horrendous condition. They have since then adopted her, but even after restoring her health, she is blind in her right eye and is unable to walk. This is one of the most recent resident patients. As you can see, he was brought in seriously malnourished and deformed. He has a skin disease, parasites, and permanent paralysis to his right rear leg. The healthier dogs around him had one or two similar afflictions at one time, but as you can see, have been restored to health and are awaiting adoption. This is the formerly exhausted mommy and pups only 4 days after their rescue. All 6 puppies survived and are growing fast. Had they not been rescued by the Fazios, all of them would have been poisoned by animal control. Animal control keeps a tally of the strays, and instead of sterilizing them, they are cruelly poisoned to death in the street. Every penny the Fazios received are used for their animals. Even the small used station wagon they drive was given to them by Mrs. Frazio's father. They have only one young man to help them and have no children because all of their time, energy, and love is for these residents and patients. One moment Dr. Fatima is handing out treats, and the next moment she is giving dogs much needed medications while Dr. Turani is performing a surgical procedure in their makeshift surgical area to the rear of the house. There is unfortunately no other alternative but to provide this type of treatment in the yard with the other dogs around. Following the completion of her duties in the yard, Dr. Fatima assists her husband in the house with the surgical procedure. This is a pet which was brought in for treatment. Dr. Fatima is changing the IV dressing, after which they both work as a team to administer medications. This dog has a parasite and a low white blood cell count. Dr. Turani stated special care is needed with the medications due to this condition. Abidjan is a poor city, and people pay what they can for this type of treatment for their pets. These 2 educated doctors could be making a lot of money in a big city, but choose to stay here because they care. But they need your help. Your generous donations will be used for medications, food, equipment, sterilizations, and hopefully a place just outside the residential and business area where there is land and no neighbors to disturb. Donations can also be used to advertise and find older puppies like these a home. There are thousands of uninhabited acres surrounding the small town of Abidjan, and there are many strays like this one without a home. Shortly following my departure, I learned this beautiful, gentle black dog was poisoned. The already overwhelmed doctors could not turn him away, and the last I heard he was on an IV to flush the poison.